The World Health Organization estimates that every year 600 million people become ill and many die because of unsafe food. Up to 38% of those affected were children under 5 years of age, and 53% were people living in low and middle income countries. Gail recognized the importance of integrating food safety in the global and nutrition security goals. So EatSafe is one of the GAIN programs. EatSafe is evidence and action toward a safe, nutritious food is our flagship USAID-funded program aiming to enable lasting improvement in the safety of nutritious foods in informal market by focusing on consumers. EatSafe is implemented by a consortium led by GAIN, Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition, and EVRI, USARA, and FIRST. Improving food safety is a global challenge, and though innovation solutions are being developed to make food safer around the world, it's not enough of this innovation that has been applied in the traditional markets. To address this gap, EatSafe launched the EatSafe Innovation Challenge in Ethiopia and Nigeria. This aims to encourage the development of food safety solutions or safer food products with the goal of improving food safety for consumers in traditional markets. The EatSafe Innovation Challenge has invited all students, researchers, entrepreneurs, and innovators passionate about food safety and or nutrition to share their idea on how existing food safety innovation can be addressed and applied in traditional markets along value chain to resolve upstream food safety issues. Applicants will further go to Denmark to present their final pitch, and the winner will be expected to be prized to take the prize of 10,000 USD. This innovation challenge is organized through collaboration of EatSafe, Innovative System Solution, IFSS, and Business Network Solution. Lastly, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you and also those who have contributed to the success of this innovative challenge competition program. Wish you all the best. Thank you. I will still remain here and switch to my presentation. I will briefly take you about EatSafe program. EatSafe is evidence and action for a safe, nutritious food. EatSafe is a USAID-funded program, and it's part of the Future Safety Program. And as I have said earlier, it is implemented by GAIN, EVRI, USARA, and FIRST. The aim of this program is to enable lasting improvement in the safety of nutritious food in traditional markets by focusing on the consumer. This is a unique approach because most of the food safety initiatives are in the formal sector. This EatSafe objective is to focus on the traditional market. So far, many efforts have been done to improve food safety, especially in the formal sector, to promote commerce and export. Though this is good, it's also important to address the informal sector because all of you, I think so, all of us source our food from the informal sector. So addressing the informal sector's food safety is a key to ensure the national food safety. This project has innovative approach addressing the consumers to drive the food safety initiative. We have seen that many countries have have taken such kind of initiative and successfully drive the food safety by empowering the consumers. So we expect that in Ethiopia also consumers will play key role to contribute towards this ensuring the food safety in Ethiopia. The program will be implemented in Hawassa, Sidama region, at the traditional market. The program has three key objectives. The first one is this program is a research-based program, and the first program is generating knowledge and evidence about consumers' behavior, knowledge and perceptions, and then following the generation of knowledge, the program will design intervention based on the evidence gathered, and then after the intervention, evidence will be generated or lesson will be captured for others to use that and for improvement, further improvement. So this program has a phase-based approach. The first phase is research, formative research, and the second phase is implementation of intervention and learning. So our research approach will have key role in understanding the knowledge, attitude, belief of consumers and vendors. So we have a range of research activities being in consortium members. The first category of research is ethnographic assessment of food safety, value, knowledge and practice. The second case is quantitative assessment. This is based on the formative, based on the ethnographic study. And then there is also risk assessment, which is based by ERIC. This will help to understand the perceived versus the real risk. We also have conducted stakeholder mapping to understand the influence and interest of stakeholders in food safety area. And we also have component story sourcing among supply side of vendors. And the last component, but not the least, is targeted behavioral research. So all these research activities will be synthesized to inform the design. So the second phase will be develop and test intervention in foods, and then finally, after the implementation, evidence will be gathered and impact assessment will be measured. Impact will be measured. As part of the EatSafe, in collaboration with Sun Business and Innovative Food System Solution, has organized the Food Safety Innovation Challenge. As I have already indicated earlier, most of the food safety initiatives and investments are informal sector. So this challenge was designed to inspire innovation to develop disruptive food safety solution for the informal market. So this challenge has offered mentorship opportunity for shortlisted candidates or finalists. It's process. The process has been started in April, 30 April, where RF has been advertised and invited researchers, students, innovators, and SMB, small and medium businesses, and through progressive selection process, we have reached to this stage. It's around 5-stage selection process. The first one is pre-screening. Over 751 have applied to this, both from Ethiopia and Nigeria, but majority are from Nigeria. In Ethiopia, around 54 applicants have been submitted, and the rest, 600 something is from Nigeria. At this point, I would like to encourage all of you and also some business to encourage others to participate in such kind of national innovative challenge so that the opportunity will be available for all who are interested. So the pre-screening has been done based on the criteria, mainly by looking at if the idea is really relevant, completeness of the idea. These are the main key criteria that have been used to pre-screen. Following that pre-screening, shortlisting has been done. This has been done by expert panel. So out of those pre-screened, 40 applicants have been screened out. So these are some of the criteria that have been used to screen the 40 using the BC4A platform. Just has selected these candidates. So out of the 40 candidates, the national competition finalists has been selected. So in Ethiopia, we have selected 5 finalists, and this finalist has been also submitted in addition to the resource, the video page. Today is a special day because the national winner will be selected. Out of the 5, 3 will be selected, and they will go to the global winners program, which will be held in Denmark. Coming back to the result of EatSafe, we have 4 result areas. The first one is increase in consolidated knowledge and evidence of food safety in the informal market. Our second result is on intervention and tools developed to encourage and challenge behavior of consumers, vendors, and other value chain actors on food safety risk. And third one is increased evidence of the impact of food safety related behavior. And finally, it's expected that development of network of actors in the food system space to contribute to the use of EatSafe outcomes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kenneth, for the detailed presentation. And next, we're going to get a presentation from Avnet about ESG.
I think most of you know about SBN already, so I will not take up too much of your time. I will just highlight what SBN is and what we're doing, and then maybe also pick on your mind to see what you can also contribute to SBN. So SBN is a Sun Business Network Ethiopia. My name is Avnet, and you can reach me at Twitter address. So to talk about the background, so this is a global movement. Sun is a global movement, and it's been there since 2010, and it's been focusing on improving malnutrition all over the world. And it has 5 units, and the first one is civil society, the United Nations, donors, business, and researchers. So out of the 5, I'm going to talk about the business side. And the business side is a network of leading private sectors, like very big ones like DSN or Unilever, very big ones, and then also small and medium also businesses operating in different countries, including many African countries and also in Ethiopia. So the whole concept of the network is bringing commitment by the members to act, invest, and innovate to improve nutrition. So we are actually advocating for a business that is responsible to improve nutrition and well-being of society. And the vision is to find market-based solutions and actions that will reduce malnutrition. And we feel like this is a missing link because there has been a lot of initiative by the governments, different governments involved, and then also UN agencies and civil societies. But when we talk about the private sector contribution, it's been very much neglected, especially here in Ethiopia. And most of the sessions that we have, engagements we have with the government, we try to show that the private sector has an indispensable contribution to malnutrition, and because of that, we have been working to develop a national strategy, which was a 3-year strategy, which was not yet being implemented. But with the support from GAIN, we have developed this strategy, which has 7 basic key principles, and these key principles are in line with the National Nutrition Program and its agendas. So the first principle is to develop a strong SBN membership, because we feel like the private sector needs to really rally against a very important cause, which is improving nutrition, which is basically about improving peace, security, economy, anything that's also social interactions, which is very much important. So we feel like the private sector needs to come together, and I'll talk about who is the private sector later. Improve the second principle, the agenda is to improve nutrition policies and regulations, and has been really disengaged and not being made part of the whole regulations. And we always talk about, this regulation is not good for me or not good for this company, because we're not given the platform to really contribute to the development of those regulations, and I think it's very need to really change that. The third agenda is increasing businesses' engagement in the non-nutrition sector. So it should not be all nutrition companies should talk about the private sector. Everybody should talk about nutrition company, every business. Because we're not given. And also, it's about partnership. The fourth is about partnership. The third is about contributing to agriculture. The fourth is about supplements, fortification. And the 7 is about creating demands and awareness. So these are the very key, very broad areas, but the strategy has a very detailed implementation plan that has specific activities and actually being very much budgeted. But because of all the budget limitation, it's not being implemented. We're working on that. We have 25 members in Ethiopia at this point, and I believe most of the private sectors here are members. But we have a plan to reach 250 in the coming 1 year. In 2023, we plan to reach over 250. And there are so many also advantages to it. This is the governance structure. We have SBN Global, that's being supported by GAIN and WFP. And then when you go to the local chapter, you can see that there's Ministry of Industry and Ministry of Health are the ones who are going to be part of, helping from the government side. Ministry of Health is very active at this point, but Ministry of Industry, we're trying to engage them and to also, lead on this initiative. But Ministry of Health at this point is also the national coordinator for Tejan San, and they have Dr. Freo. Dr. Freo was the lead, but now it's Dr. Shesai who's leading it at this point. So we have the Ethiopian Sun Business Network, and the GAIN country office has been very, very supportive in this, and we really want to thank Nick for this, and they were with us through the whole process. And then the SBN Executive Committee is now also being actively engaged, and we're also going to engage the members very soon. So I said I'll be talking about the members. Who should be the members? So members who are operating under nutrition scheme from agriculture, education, industry, health, any one of them would be eligible for it. But other stakeholders, including the government, UN, civil societies, and also are, they have a different naming for their membership, but they can also be a member. We've been trying to really come to the picture since 2017, but it's not really an easy ride for so many reasons. But these things that you see here
some of the big achievements that we have done. And one of the recent and very important achievement is the one you see in the last one, which is Spain was officially launched in 2021. It was launched by the presence of the Ministry of Trade and Ministry of Health, and also supporting partners and UN agencies. So these are what we have been doing so far. We are working now at this point to do membership expansion, and we will have different forums for that. And again, we'll be supporting on that. At this point, again, already has people in it where they are actually directly supporting SPN, but and they have also promised to hire consultants to also support the process of establishment of a secretariat, because we don't have a secretariat at this point. We are just global entity with a local chapter, but we don't have an office or a legal entity at this point. And GAME is kind enough to hire consultants to move this agenda forward. And we are actually working with them now, and I believe we'll be starting very soon. These are the membership benefits. I don't want to go into the details. We can see that it's not the agenda today, but this is in general who we are. And all of you who are in this room are responsible to make sure that this debate picks up and moves forward, because it actually is the missing link when we talk about nutrition. Because the private sector is, it starts from the farmer. Farmer is the private sector. And then it goes all the way to the consumer in retail shops, retail, food service facilities, factories, manufacturing facilities. All of them are a really important component of nutrition, and we cannot really neglect those. So I believe all of you need to take up this in view and support this way to move forward. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Aminat, for that presentation about SPM. Next, we're going to invite Sarah for a presentation about our finalists and mentorship level 2.
Excuse me for the inconvenience. I'm here to tell you about the finalists that are going through the competition. Ghana has already told us how they have gone through all the process in completing the EatSafe food safety challenges. I would like to tell you, I don't want to go the details about EatSafe Innovation Challenge. It's already well treated in the first presenter. So 3 winners from Ethiopia, they will go for the global EatSafe Innovation Challenge. So that they will compete for $10,000, total of 6 finalists from the 2 countries. They will compete for this amount of money. At the same time, they will get a chance to pitch in front of big investors working in the food sector. So it will be a big chance for the finalists. So as a mentor, we came here as a mentor to help these 5 finalists as a consultant service. The team, as you see here, with different proposition, working in the food sector for a long time. Agricultural economist, Dr. Masai is working for a long time under EIR, and he is consultant for different international organizations. Mabel is also a food scientist by profession, and he has a lot of experience in different private and international organizations. And currently is also working under UNICEF as technical advisor. I myself a food safety professional, and I have more than 10 years teaching experiences in different universities. And I'm currently working at Bio and Emerging Technology Institute, the previous one, Biotechnology Institute, working on biotechnology related researches. So we have tried to help our finalists so that I think they will get a better chance to prepare their project. These are the finalists. We were trying to help them with practical and theoretical things about food safety and nutrition. And we have gone through different packages of mentorship. The first one is a group session related to food safety and nutrition, how their ideas are adapted, how it could be scalable, and how it is very environmentally friendly, and the sustainability related to the raw materials they are going to use, how they are attracting the consumers, and they should know about the raw material, the history of the raw materials they are going to use for their product. So, and the one session were also used to help them related to their respective title or ideas, how they are maintaining the safety and the nutrition, whether the process will affect all these important the food safety and the nutrition issues, and their business plan, how it is profitable, what is their business model, and their marketing strategy they are going to use. These were the points we were discussing independently or in their group sessions. And we had also a food industry visit, so that they will be acquainted with practical experience in the food industries, how the food safety management is going to be taken care of through their visit. thanks for the guests agro industry. They were open for the visit, and the mentors, the finalists were very happy to search and ask everything, the details in the office as well as in the plant. So these were our focus point, and we had also processing line visit, how food safety is maintained through the process, and finally how the final products are going to be tested, whether they are up to the standard of the national standard. So we had an experience from the laboratory, food safety laboratory tests. The other one that we have also is the market visit, through the market, because EatSafe is mainly focusing on the traditional food market, how to improve the traditional food market in such a way to maintain the safety and the nutrition. So these were the experience we have seen in the open market, one of the markets in Addis, how it is unhygienic. So they were introduced how to manage these things, how their product is safely produced. This is a short biography for our contestants. I put them randomly, not in alphabetic order. Helen is one of the contestants. She has a PhD in food engineering, and she has been doing more than 10 years in university. She has an experience in advising PhD students, and she has been also awarded by Moshe the first Heart 2021 award for her outstanding performance. And she has also brought awards and fellowship programs, and the other one, and she has also more than 6 scientific publications in reputed journals. And the other one is Nutritious, and she has a diploma in nursing and pharmacy, and she has a lot of experiences in different international and private companies. And she is also the owner, the CEO for Saudi Agro Industry, working on food processing. And she has been working in different NGOs like Oxfam and the others. She is also a member of different board member of different organizations, and she has an experience in presenting seminars internationally, locally. And she has also visit experience in different international big companies working in food related sector. And the third one is Yoel Lagasa, and he has food engineering. He's a food engineer by profession. He has been working in different government and non-government organizations for 10 years. And he's working now at Ethiopia Government Trading PLC. And he has been also working in the Ministry of Industry under FBPIDI, the beverage sector. And he has been also a lecturer in Ambo University for his career. And the last, William is animal technologist. Is dairy technologist. He has been working for different organizations for more than 20 years. And his face looks maybe, but he has been working for 20 years. And in the CV, surprisingly, he has a lot of experience in different international organizations. And he has more than 11 publications, proceeding, even books related to dairy. So my final message is actually it's not my own message. I took it from WHO. without food safety, we cannot secure. We cannot be successful in food security. So, food safety should be our focus. And finally, I will open the video for a short interview for our finalists. Due to the time constraint, that's better to skip the video. So this is all what I have. Thank you very much.
Now it's time for the international judges, and Hannah and Amanda are some of the managers.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm so honored to be here and for being a chance to introduce our jury members. The setup of your sitting is very convenient for the broadcast, but I think for some of the people it might be very difficult to see them, right? So when I call you in, please help me by providing beautiful way. So that they will see maybe they will know about whom I'm talking about. Okay, so next to me there is Dr. Ngana Amara. Can you see him? Okay. Dr. Ngana received his PhD from Addis Ababa University in Food Science and Nutrition. He was a research fellow at the Institute of Research for Development, Montpellier, France in 2013, and the University of Padova, Italy in 2016. He served as Assistant Professor of Food and Nutrition Science at the College of Health Science, the School of Public Health, Walaita Sodo University, Ethiopia, and a Senior Researcher of Food and Nutrition Scientist at the Ethiopian Biotechnology Institute. He was a coordinator of the Food and Nutrition Research Team at the Ethiopian Biotechnology Institute for 2 years. Dr. Ndale is currently a researcher in Food and Nutrition Science at Ethiopian Public Health Institute. He has led and co-led over 5 projects with national and international partners and published the findings in peer-reviewed journals. He also supervised and evaluated over 30 postgraduate students from different universities in Ethiopia. Currently, he is coordinating a project titled Updating the Ethiopian Food Composition Theme and Center of Excellence in East and Central Africa of the Periodic Table of Food Institute, or PTFI project. Dr. Ndale is trained and experienced on food composition, data production and management, food bioactivities, bioactives, and nutrient analysis. He is also working on food product innovation, targeting to valorize indigenous and traditional foods for better nutrition and health. He is an idea developer of the first national food innovation contest organized by Ethiopian Public Health Institute in December 2021. Dr. Ndale is an executive committee member of the National Codex Committee and the chair of the subcommittee of foods for special dietary users. He is also a reviewer of the journals of Food Science and Technologies Springer, LWT Food Science and Technology, and Food Research International on ad hoc basis. Dr. Ndale is an active member of the Ethiopian Food and Nutrition Society and Ethiopian Public Health Institution or Association. Next to Dr. Ndale, we have Professor Delia Grace. Professor Delia Grace is an epidemiologist and veterinarian with more than 20 years experience in developing countries. She is graduated from several leading universities and currently is a professor at the University of Greenwich and joint appointed senior scientist at the International Livestock Research Institute, Nairobi, Kenya, where she also leads the food safety stream in IRIS One Health Center. Her research interests include food safety, emerging diseases, gender studies, and animal welfare. Her career has spanned the private sector, field level community development, and aid management, as well as research. She has lived and worked in Asia, West and East Africa, and authored or co-authored more than 200 peer-reviewed publications, as well as training courses, briefs, films, articles, chapters, and blog posts. Her research program focuses on the design and promotion of risk-based approach to food safety in livestock products in sub-Saharan Africa and in South Asia. She is also involved in EcoHealth, One Health approach to the control of zoonosis, disease, and agriculture-associated antimicrobial resistance. And next to Professor Delia, we have Ato Ngidu Lagesa. Ngidu Lagesa is co-founder and the general manager of Guts Agro Industry PLC in Ethiopia, graduated from Technical and Vocational College in Addis Ababa. He worked for 6 years as an electrician and contractor before joining Addis Ababa University Institute of Technology, where he studied electrical engineering for 3 years. He received his master's in global management program at the University of Salford in England in 2016. Subsequently to this study, he ventured into business as entrepreneur by focusing on machineries and equipment for food processing. And by learning from his experience, started his own trading company and became one of the pioneers in private sector in Ethiopia, or private business in Ethiopia, that imported spare parts and machineries and worked with clients in setting up equipment for food processing operations. A valuable experience that led to be a co-founder of Guts Agro Industry in 2005. Last but not least, I will introduce Ato Fassa Barawi. Ato Fassa Barawi joined USA in September 1996 as Food Aid Program Manager in the Office of Food and Humanitarian Assistance and as a Senior Project Manager Specialist of Nutrition in Office of Economic Growth and Transformation of USA Ethiopia. Prior to joining USA, he worked for various government and non-government organizations, including the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of State Farm, Concern Ethiopia, Red Barn Ethiopia, in different capacity. Ato Fassa has over 30 years of experience in the area of food security, livelihoods, natural resource management, agricultural extension, farm management, and nutrition. He has a technical skill in the project designing, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation. Ato Fassa earned a BSc degree in agricultural economics from Alemaya University and MSc in natural resource management from Agricultural University of Norway. After introducing them, then I will directly connect to the pitch competition. So I'm given the list of the finalists and the time also given to you. It's not from me, but from the organizers. You're given 10 minutes to present your pitch. Then following each finalist, then each finalist's presentation, we will have five minutes for the for the jury members to ask a question and for you to answer. So in total, you have 15 minutes. 10 minutes for presentation and 5 minutes for Q&A. Before I call the first finalist to present, I would like briefly to mention the criteria or the indicators that the jury members will be using to judge this competition. The first one is they will see food safety and nutritional benefit of the innovation. So this one has 40 rank. And the second one is adaptability of low and middle income countries. This is about the extent to which an innovation can be widely implemented and adapted, especially in low resource setting in the traditional markets. And the third one, this one has 35 rank. And the third one is scalability. The ability of an innovation to be scaled to a broad population for greater impact with a focus on vulnerable populations, that is women and including women and the young children. So this got 30 rank. And the last one is environmental sensitivity. This one is about the impact of an innovation around ensuring climate and environmental resilience and reducing the greenhouse gas footprint of the food system. So this one will be ranked out of 5. So saying this, I would like to invite the first finalist, Lilia. I'm sure good luck.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, panelists. Good morning. We are in the morning session. My name is Miriam Casa. I've been well introduced by Dr. Priya here, so I will jump to my presentation. How long do I have? 2 hours? 10 minutes. So,
I have the timer, I will start.
okay. So to start with the problem that I have identified, I have been working in the dairy sector for the past many years, and before that I was a consumer. So all my life I have been a dairy scientist as a consumer and researcher. So my research, my idea was about giving solution to the unsafe traditional fermented milk product, which we call turbo. A lot of us consume it and enjoy it because almost 80% of Africans are lactose intolerant, which means we cannot comfortably consume milk directly. So we tend to focus to the consumption of fermented products. But it's not coming as safe as it can be. There are some microbial and chemical toxins associated with it. To mention some, Escherichia coli, Salmonella, Staph aureus contaminations have been identified in our traditional turbo. From the toxins, aflatoxin M1 has been a serious case the past 5-6 years since it was first identified by a team of scientists from ILRI. So the main source of contamination is from the lack of pasteurization in our traditional ergo process, which conveys all the microbes and toxins to the final product, which never happens in the milk, will also appear in the final product. So it's not safe to consume. And when we see the short shelf life, it has both business and food security connotations, because it has only 4 or 5 days of shelf life compared to our product, which stays for 1 month. The safety have addressed, and it's not guaranteed because it has various processes. It's produced throughout the country, but it is a different source of milk and method of processing. So our solution to this challenge is focused on probiotic culture, starter culture. Using probiotic starter culture, we manage 2 critical control points in this traditional fermented milk product technology, which is pasteurization and incubation. So when we pasteurize, we get rid of all the pathogenic microbes, which makes it safe for consumption. And when we incubate, we give it time to select starter culture, which has health benefits and improves the tastes and quality of the final product. Producers, smallholder producers, do not have much of the facility which is required to produce a consistent and wholesome product, because they don't have pasteurizers and they don't have incubators. As you can see in the picture, this is an innovative incubation set that we produce here locally, but the starter culture has to come from all the way from the Netherlands. No facility in Africa produces starter culture yet. So at the end of the project life, which is in 2030, we can produce it locally and distribute throughout Africa using the African continental Mediterranean area as a marketing benefit. So in the short run, we plan to scale the product up, and by 2025, we plan to repack the starter cultures. The mass will be produced in biotechnology labs we have in the country, like the Boleta and the Addis Ababa University labs, through the public-private partnership, which has been recently approved in the Ethiopian Parliament, so that it will give us time to scale up the market and reduce the cost of importation. Mostly it is imported, which means it depends on the availability of foreign currency that the country has for the importers. And by 2027, we plan to set up local production, so it gradually goes from setting up a repack facility to a production. So we will have our own biodigesters. So by the 2030, we plan to export to the rest of Africa and share the benefits of local producers have in UX of Africa. So our team are, as you can see, a team of young and a mix of market from different professions, marketer, trainer, microbiologist, and dairy science. And the third lady that you see is the African coordinator for Yoba for Life Foundation, which we partner with for the supply of the starter cultures. So our message is invest in the next generation's health and nutrition, and be part of our team. Thanks for your time.
I'll stay here and let me give us any question. Do you have any question?
Thank you for the presentation. How does the price of the probiotic fermented milk compare with the price which it is available at currently?
So we have only one probiotic culture producer at large scale, which imports his own culture. So its products are closely between 20 to 30% higher compared to the conventional startup culture yogurts. But our products will enable them to reduce cost by at least 15 to 20% even from the conventional cultures, because they are, our suppliers are not for profit, but once we set up the product, we will get rid of the taxation, the import taxation and other logistics costs, which helps us develop competitive price for the producers. That's all.
Thank you again for the presentation. I have two questions. The first one is, could you clearly say where the innovation is? Where is the innovation behind your presentation? The second one is why you see microbial contamination could be mitigated by pasteurization. Is it really possible to avoid aflatoxins of this application like pasteurization?
The innovation part is about the probiotic nature of the product. We consume traditional food product, traditional fermented milk, including the milk. We don't know the source of the microbes, but this one is controlled and it contains streptococcus and lactobacillus rhamnosus, which is the most studied probiotic culture globally. More than 900 publications are out there in the scientific community. But our other business, our product, is a package of starter culture, pasteurizing pots, and incubation units. So it comes in a package where we also train our producers, our product consumers. So it's a package actually. Package of starter culture, which is a consumer, which they have to buy for each batch of milk they sell into yogurt. But for the first time, they have to buy the pasteurizing pot, which is what kind of milk, and that's you don't have to pasteurize milk directly, you save it from fat, and it has to pass through boiling water to extract the ghee. That is one innovation. And the second one is incubation. The incubation will give it the appropriate time and temperature combination to nurture only the probiotic cultures, and it will help shorten the fermented milk production time from 12 hours to 6 to 4 hours. So it is innovative in that way. So what is the second question? Aflatoxins are not degraded by the pasteurization, but through the fermentation and keeping at cold storage. We have research findings from Uganda that this specific lactobacillus rhamnosus yoba native weight strain has reduced during the first week of storage, reduced the aflatoxin level by more than half. And it will leave the compound with two safe compounds which are not toxic to the consumption. I'm happy to share the research findings.
Thank you for the presentation. Do you believe there is an enabling environment to expand this kind of innovation to the maximum extent? And then what kind of support are you expecting from your thinking?
The recently announced public-private partnership gives us the chance to partner with already existing investments by the government, like the Biotechnology Institute laboratories are huge and state-of-the-art technology to produce the startup cultures here locally. So that's one good opportunity. And the foreign currency shortage that we have is hindering the meat processors, even the large ones, from importing cultures and other ingredients to produce fermented products. So these opportunities combined will give us the chance to scale up the existing 50 plus milk processors in the country. And this is only if we can improve the East Africa using the COMESA agreement we have been doing the past many years, and the whole of Africa, which is waiting for a local production. So that is what we expect to grab as an opportunity. Next.
Thank you, William. A quick question on the supply and marketing side. So on the supply side, as you know, the Ethiopian and dairy sector is not that much satisfactory providing to all consumers. So with this situation, you think that there will be a struggle to make it or to work it for longer. This is one. On the marketing side, with value proposition, when you put your product, where do you position your product in terms of target? So the reason for my question is it's affordability. As I mentioned, it could be affordable for the mass market. So these are the two questions.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. The supply side is we have experienced some fluctuations in supply, both in temporary supply, very temporary and spatial supply fluctuations, and also some social. There are some other reaching to the consumers, and this is one good opportunity for tackling that problem, unless it's pasteurized and fermented. It will not be safe for the consumers to consume directly. That would be one solution, and we are hopeful that the supply in terms of quality will improve, but in terms of volume, we post the first. We are the number one in Africa in terms of number of cows, but we are still yet to develop their performance. That is one. From the market side, in Addis Ababa alone, there are more than 1,500 small milk shops that serve the base of the pyramid consumers. Consumers tend to go there because they expect lower priced products. The price can be the same for the same product through our technology, because it gives them the chance to keep the product for 1 month, so they can wait for the market for working customers and other institutional markets. The school feeding program is being piloted by some projects here in Addis and throughout the country in major cities. So these are the markets that we are targeting.
Thank you, William. You still have 6 seconds. Great. Thank you, William. You saved a significant amount of time during your presentation, so you helped me to be flexible during Q&A. So the second finalist will be Yuel Lagasa. He came with a presentation of innovation on the whole egg powder. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Anna. And I would like to first to appreciate just giving this platform. It's an innovation challenge here in Ethiopia. So by saying that, I was also with my innovation idea. So my title is only founder. So there is several challenges in our country. In table egg production. The first one is high post-harvest loss. High post-harvest loss. And to see some the system of the poultry farm in Ethiopia, there is 3 types of system. The first one is village poultry farm, which is having production capacity of like 3%, 45%, and the rest is goes to that of the small and medium poultry farm. It's about 40%, and the modern one, the commercial poultry farm, is only 50%, which is a few poultry farms. So this the lion's share goes to that of the village and small poultry farms. So due to that, there is a lot of or high post-harvest loss, and at the same time there is a poor transportation system for small and medium poultry farms. Most of the time they are using a box crates, a wooden box crate. So due to that, on transportation they are blending or bundled with vegetable, fruits, and so on. They transport like that. So there is a lot of damage on the process. And at the same time, when they are picking in the store, even in the commercial one, there is cross contamination. In the egg, there is a drop of birds there, so easily it is contaminated, and there is high risk of microbiology, especially salmonella. So after all this one, if they are processing well, there is also high transportation and storage cost, and there is also a problem of coupling. The end users are having like there is no direct linkage. Some collection center in the region, so they collect the eggs and transport to the users like institutes, hotel, and restaurant. So there is limitation. So by seeing this challenge, we are bring this one, the whole egg powder for mental nutrition and health. The first one is effectiveness, because this egg powder lose most of the moisture content of the product. It gets powdered, so due to that, it increases reduces the post-harvest loss and eliminates the transport damage and storage and so on, and the spoilage also. At the same time, it increases the shelf life of the product, and it is easy to take the portion of it. So that's one effectiveness of this product. And environmentally, we didn't dump the eggshell directly to the environment. We tried, smashed, or meal and pack in bulk and sent to the chicken farm to reuse as a feed. And at the same time, this one is a good source of calcium. The eggshell is made of, most of it is from calcium, so it's a good source for chicken. And affordability, the affordability of this dry powdered egg it increases because we are producing in volume. Is somehow we are absorbing the problem of the society by collecting this safe table egg, by integrating from the closest or proximate small poultry farms, like which is owned by women, and they use. We have agreement, bilateral agreement with them. We select 5 of them, like working with the Minister of Health and working with the Minister of Agriculture. We have forming bilateral relations. So we have a good source of table eggs. So by processing that one, it's possible to increase affordability, availability, and at the same time accessibility. This is very important. So the product, this one is a product film. which is preparing in different SKUs. This one is 100 kg, 100 gram egg powder, which is neat, expected 10 eggs. So one of the advantage of this one is taking the portion. For children, the minimum per day, it needs 2.5 gram. One egg is an average, it produces like 10 gram. So it's possible to serve 4 children per day. So in this sachet, it's possible to serve 14 children. So this one is a good solution at the same time for the school feeding program. So we call it, our product's name is cooked whole egg powder, which is stated in Amharic, that means it's very healthy and it's a gift of nature. So the product film packaging is prepared in both languages, in Amharic and in English. It's easy to use or communicate with customers. So it's possible to take a portion of it and how to apply. So it's already stated there. And at the same time, it's possible to communicate with our company by using the QR code there. So very clear. So this is our product demo. So the roadmap is now we are in commissioning phase in live production in 2022, and at the same time we want to have some certification, health issue. We are asked by the FDA, national level, we are certified. We are willing to be certified. So we are complying with HASP plan, and at the same time we are implementing the SOPs and so on. So we are on good track till now. And in the end of 2022, we plan to product demonstration, sensitization, and market promotion. And at the same time, we need some funding on this one. We plan to create awareness for the users, for the consumers. That's very important because this egg powder is a new idea, so but it has a great solution. But we should have to communicate with our clients. So after that, in 2023, we try to optimize our production capacity. For now, we are planning to work for 10 hours operation time. In this 10 hours, the plant is possible to produce like 50,000 eggs possible to process. That is a capacity having to address like 75 children per day. It's a good solution, I believe this one. And in 2027, we plan to expand by putting some machinery and equipment in our plants. Like spray dryer is our bottleneck, so we are going to add one spray dryer. By that, it's possible to optimize, increase the production capacity. So as an expansion, we are thinking in 2027 that one. And in 2030, we plan to nationwide or regionally in Africa, it's possible to plant the replica of this concept. So that's it. So it's very scalable product. This is my team. Actually, our company is most of the time reimburse some of the revenue to the CSR for like a school feeding program. We are collaboratively working with Addis Ababa City Administration school feeding program. So for the last like 3 years, we are just giving the money. Sorry, but this day it's possible to plan to give the egg powder. So it's one solution for them and for us also. So I pick only one of call for action. Take your portion and feed 5 children per day. Thank you. Thank you so much.
you have any question, you come forward. Yes, please.
One question, what proportion of eggs are currently lost post-harvest in Ethiopia, would you think?
Actually, I try to refer some research paper. Originally, I have got only one research paper from the southern part of Ethiopia. It says from 1,000 box of egg, we will lose like 200 eggs. So you can take it.
50%.
Thank you, Miguel, for the presentation. I would like to know first, are you working with innovation with Addis Ababa University, or because I know that they presented this work on one of the innovation contests that I was organizing. So I would like to hear about that. And the second question is in terms of acceptability. How acceptable the product is while you utilize any drying technology? I'd like to know about the drying technology you have been using. Probably an off-flavor could be developed. So would the product be acceptable? Have you tried any consumer acceptability trial test? This is the second question. And the drying technology you have used in relation to that of feasibility in general. I would like to react this question. The last one probably, the shelf life. Have you determined the shelf life of your product?
I hope this one is the first question. So the first one is, this one is a small scale. Prototype is already done in Addis Ababa University, Food Science and Nutrition Department. So we scale up this concept. So we are working with, actually I shared on the document, I can't say everything here. So we are working with EatSafe and Addis Ababa University Nutrition and Food Science Department. And the second question is we determine the shelf life. Actually rated shelf life determination done. So by that, this one is safe food from 6 to 1 year. Maybe it goes above that one, but unknowable is 1 year. And at the same time, acceptability, we try or check the sensor analysis. The panel by panelists, both from the university at the same time from our. Actually, we are commissioning this product, so we tried on after checking the safeness of the food, we tried to make it sensor analysis on our side. So the feedback is very good.
Have you done it on the egg powder or have you developed any?
No, we have done the egg powder. We tried that one, the sensor analysis is very good, the feedback is good. Actually, we didn't directly prepare the egg, but we put it in the local stew, short, the porridge and so on. So we have done that.
You have these on one minute,
Yeah, my question is this new technology for that you are going to introduce it or has been there?
In our country, no. Spray drying technology is the first one in our country. So it's a good opportunity for us. And EatSafe bring this technology collaborating with the prototype studies as a university. So we are only show our expression of interest. So it's a new technology for us.
For us, not for the world. Okay.
Not for
How about the price? Do you have any calculation? Because most of the people
we do have already the feasibility study. It's viable because we are producing volume. At the same time, we are using the cost plus approach. So far, we are thinking of the vulnerable society of Ethiopia, like the bottom of the pyramid. So it's affordable.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you. The next finalist is Helen. She came with an innovation of advancing of indigenous food processing methods.
I'm Mira. My idea is improving our the processing technology. First, introduce what's inside. This is chemical, which is Ethiopia, and also as a staple food for the Kenyan food that's found in the south and southwest part of our country. And Koto, it's a fermented product. Kola, it's a starch. And also, I'm sure it's a common part, more as a food source from inside blood. Recent studies also get that inside how the food is like to feed more than 500 million population, and also to boost food security issue, not only in Ethiopia, in other communities like Kenya, Uganda, and Rwanda. And also, it's how can be calculated in a wide agro-ecological results. So it's easy to estimate or to adaptable by different parts of our country, so not only in the south, but in the northern part of our country, and also during production time, we don't have any effect on the environment because the farmers are using organic fertilizer as the manure, so it's environmental friendly for the production, so it's easily to distribute any other country, any part of our country, and also it's rich in carbohydrates, zinc, calcium, plus it's full in vitamin A and protein. In addition to that, traditional insect processing, as you see in the picture, it's very not safe, it's unhygienic, and also it's need to have a strong odor, time consuming, labor intensive, and also it's prone to different contaminants like biological, physical, and also chemical contaminants. Fermentation practices differ from one area to another area, even from one household to another household. So there is no standard for the production of insect food products, and also there is post harvest loss because of its labor intensive nature. Most of the plant may not be harvested, and also after harvesting, also there is a loss. In addition to that, the process is less efficient, and also it has a health effect on people because during the processing time they use their leg, so it has impact on their health and well-being. Our today's solution is we design and develop processing equipment. This equipment consists of 3 unit operation or 3 branches in one unit, and also we develop starter culture. So it's helped to save our product, to make hygienic and improve its quality. In addition to that, by using of starter culture, we can standardize the product, and also we can produce uniform sensory product, consistent products, and also we increase shelf life in the distribution. As I mentioned earlier, cultivation of succulent is environmentally friendly, and also our processing method also environmentally friendly. So our product prevent for safety and hazard, it increase efficiency, and also it's get the surplus and the waste, increase the availability of the products, and also improve the health and well-being of women. These are our product demo. When you go to our roadmap, we already done feasibility and our business plan, and also we design the prototype, starter cultural process implement, and also we plan to, in the short-term implementation plan, to purchase equipment for cultivation of starter culture, and also we plan to give training and also awareness engagement for the potential employees and also our customer in our short-term implementation plan. For the first year and the second year, we plan to produce 50% and also our mid-term implementation plan is to operate in full capacity and also to increase processing time. And in addition to that, to introduce and product value-added product as mentioned earlier, and successful in vitamin A. So we plan to fortify this vitamin A because it's difficult in the case of traditional processing, it's difficult to fortify. So we plan in our mid-term implementation plan, and also in our long-term implementation plan, we plan to increase the regional state into other parts of our country, not only for the production of as a food source as control or as pula, but we can substitute in different our products like cake and also in meat. We can substitute, we can use for that purpose also. So in our long-term plan is to expand our products into different countries. We have our team, we are professional in different disciplines, from food process, chemical, mechanical engineering, and also marketing management. 50% of our team are organized from fields, and most of them are experts in manufacturing and sales of food products. Our statement is time that we have been targeted. It's another reason find out product, safe products for healthy future. Thank you all. This is all.
What is the evidence of presence of hazards and risk of foodborne disease associated with traditionally processed enzymes?
Thank you. As you see in the picture, the processing method, not hygienic, and also we are investigated the analysis, and there is high contaminants like Clostridium. That's why they have strong odor, because it causes to the risk of protein. So the presence of that, it has strong odor, so we can that. Also, there is high microbial contamination, and also it's suspected to physical contamination because they process in soil, the area is not protected, so it's contaminated by different physical hazards, and also they preserve or they ferment in their feed, so it's suspected for rodent insects, so it's highly contaminated by physical and microbial contamination.
Sorry. Thank you, Ellen, for the interesting presentation. I would like to appreciate the work. And the question I have is on the fermentation time. How long this starter culture shortens the fermentation? The traditional fermentation process is it takes long time, 3 or more months. So, how long the starter culture shorten the fermentation time? And I also have a question on the safety of the starter culture by itself. Have you checked the safety when you apply on culture? The other one is which one are you going to scale? Is it the equipment or the starter culture are you going to scale up by this innovation?
Okay, thank you for your interesting question. In the case of fermentation time, actually they use mostly surface fermentation for 9 days without, in the case of traditional fermentation, 9 days as a surface fermentation, and they preserve, they ferment in the pit not only for fermentation purpose, just for preservation. because of its very intensive, labor-intensive processing. So they only process twice or 3 times per year. So to prevent that labor activity, they process once or twice a year. That's why they preserve in the food. So fermentation time is mostly 9 days, but we use the fermentation time for 4 days, just like in general preparation. So it's the safety of our products. When you see the safety of our standard batches, sure, we test it. By the way, we are trying to prepare in the liquid form because of its cost. Because when we make it freeze-dried, it's more appropriate to preserve, but it's difficult. One is to use the efficiency, the second is it's not capital. We are more communicated to the farmers, so it's mainly the upper level. So we are tested that the quality is there, and also we plan to scale up the equipment for our purpose and also to distribute for our farmers. But as you know, most of our part of rural country, part of region, they don't have energy source, so it's not easy to distribute our equipment through the plan. And also that's why we need to work in other humanitarian organizations to distribute our processing equipment because it reduces the burden of payments and they empower the payments. And also we have also done it's a really continued process because new generation may not be adopt this processing because it's time consuming and also labor intensive. So in the future may not have the possibility to process uncertainty because new generation may have no interest to process that. So we plan to scale up equipment in addition to that to scale up our starter culture because our starter culture is more appropriate for all of traditional processors. So now,
my question. Thank you for your presentation. And as you came up with something new equipment, and your targets are for women who are producing insect. But you came up with this product, and I don't think this is going to be affordable by poor women. What's your strategy if they don't? And this may require extra enrichment, right? They made it electricity or something. So when you go to the rural areas, the villages, they don't have that. How do you going to scale up this in the absence of that environment? Thank you.
Thank you. I already tried to cover in the specification. Yes, we are planning for units, and also we are planning to work with different organizations like humanitarian organizations, Restore Agriculture, and also Farmer Association to distribute this. That's why it's not as such affordable, but we can work in collaboration with Farmer Association. Maybe 2 or 3 equipment is enough for the community in the rural area because there may not be huge population in that area. And also if you want this humanitarian organization, they support us to distribute in the rural area. As I mentioned earlier, there is a people out most of our rural areas. That's why we plan to, in addition to that, scale up of equipment to produce by ourselves, just as to produce our products by ourselves. Because we must be reach some part of the country, so we can have this by using our products.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. Similarly, like Binia, you saved some time from the presentation and you have the Q&A. The fourth finalist is Yezichanem Tasama. She came with innovation of papaya powder. Please welcome.
Good morning, everybody.
Good.
Thank you, Dr. Perry has been introducing us well, so just go to why papaya powder? I came with a papaya powder project. It is because of the existing nutritional problem of our country. And as you know, vitamin A deficiency leads to 80,000 deaths annually. And I'm sorry. Why we are coming with this papaya powder, and I would like to say something about the challenges, why we prefer to have a papaya powder. Vitamin A deficiency leads to 80,000 deaths annually, and 61% of them is preschool children, and the large number of blindness attributed to vitamin A deficiency, and 17% of pregnant women suffer from light blindness. And the current food markets, as we see, it is very unsafe, unhygienic, and there is no any standard. As you know, the government regulates only for the business sector. Otherwise, there is no any mechanism that can standardize or cleanliness of the working environment. And papaya processing is not common, especially in terms of powder. And usually papaya is consumed fresh, and it's very seasonal. And fresh papaya is highly perishable, and 30% of post-harvest loss of the papaya tree. So we come up to alleviate this challenge by bringing papaya powder, producing papaya powder. Our solution is safe, and it's hygienic, and it's quality because papaya has a very good source of vitamin A. And we produce a standardized product because it is now we have a national papaya fruit powder standard. And availability, because it will be available all season, all year round. And we have a longer life shelf. All of us will eat home papaya, so it doesn't really stay 2-3 days more than that. So it will be easy to mix, and it will be save time, and also it will be a wide distribution because when it's dry, it's going to be light, and it's going to be easily transported, and it's environmentally friendly. There will be no loss, as we are also involved in fruit processing. Even the current fruit leftover we are using as a fertilizer, and even some government organization has requested us also to use as an animal feed for the leftover. So it's environmentally friendly, and we also reduce post-harvest loss. And our roadmap, we jointly worked with our university in research, and the research was on which type of drying method we are using so that we can retain the vitamins, and we come up the refractory window dryer, which is a 4th generation dryer, and the lab scale sourcing, the lab scale by Addis Ababa University refractory window is done, and lab scale production is started. And we are also sourcing the pilot size refractory window index, and the national standards already in place for papaya powder. And the next step will be installation, target, training of staff, and awareness creation and sensitization, and starting a pilot production and introduction to the market. And our long term, we want to scale up, because the technology is easy to scale up because it is produced here locally. And as you know, the raw material is here because Ethiopia is exported as one of the favorable conditions for the papaya growth. And as you know, papaya is all over. And we want to scale up and mass production, and then there will be a mass distribution, and will cause a great impact. And our team, our teams are technically and have very good experience. There is a food engineer, food science for production, and the laboratory, and myself, and finance and marketing. As a company, we are also very focused on quality, and we have we are certified on ISO 2018, and we are also ready to be certified for FSC. So we believe in processing quality products through processing quality products as well as giving our customers quality products. So our statement will be, let us unite everybody, all of us, and have a healthy generation with no vitamin B deficiency. As my background, I'm a nurse and worked for a long time with rural Ethiopia, especially in time of famine. I have witnessed so many disastrous health issues in the country. So I will be very interested and passionate about this to address this, and I'm processing this passion. Thank you. This is the sample of the papaya powder.
Thank you. As part of your business plan, have you looked at the competition? Have you looked at, because of course there's a lot of alternatives for vitamin A supplement, from capsules to biofortification to fortifying sugar and oil. So what makes you think that this papaya powder will be more attractive than the other options?
Thank you so much. That's a fantastic question, because we have seen it, like the capsules, fortification, all is brought from outside or processed. But this one is a natural one, and it's available in abundance in here. So I think this one would be preferable even when we see the process of developing the powder.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the interesting presentation. I have two questions. The first one is in terms of scaling up. You've said this window refractance window design technology is easy to adopt, but how feasible is that? Is it really easy to scale up? Is my first question. And the other one is in terms of sustainability, production sustainability. As you know, it is a seasonal, papaya seasonal. So if you plan to scale up, you're going to face any challenge in terms of sustainability during the off-season. The second, I will add one more. You've said again on the peel, well, we know that those food wastes are used for animal feed, but are you really planning to link your industrial waste with the animal feed processes? How are you designing to link this waste management with this question?
Thank you so much. The first question was about the technology. Yeah, the technology is why I say it's adaptable and scalable. Anything that's produced near to us is always scalable, I assume. Because this is the new technology, It's already produced here locally, and it's already have a lab scale capacity, and it's only to increase the size of the refractory window units. So that's why I say it's easily scalable. And the other question is regarding the sustainability. As I'm already in the food processing industry, I would say it's sustainable, even like we always process and think about, like we work with semi-processors, like organizations that semi-process only like pulping, and that can sustain for 1 year. That's another option. And the other option will be to maximize production in time of season. So in these two, I think we can handle that. Yes, linking the leftover. Yes, or there are organizations who are even now contacting us so that they can source from us. So it's already an offer. And as you know, that currently even the shortage of animal feed is really high. So I would say that there would not be having any issues in that. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. It's a wonderful presentation. My question is, the food powders usually have a large market in industries like cosmetics, beverage, pharmaceuticals, and others. I mean, I'm not aware of that. It is used in the food line that much, especially in a country like ours, with the limited resources that. So, how do you see that? How do you see that market compared to the using it for food purpose instead of for industry? That's it.
Thank you for the question. Yes, you are right that now it's used for the industry purposes, but we can also use for human consumption. Especially, it's very light, as you see, and it's easy to transport, and it will be packed in grams, so that it can reach, as much as possible. So it's possible to use for, especially, it's like transporting the capsules. So it will be another advantage for that also to look into the cosmetic market as well. But now we're thinking of distributing to the affected community so that we can tackle the deficiency.
Okay, one more question from my side. You are already in the business.
Yes.
Can you elaborate the trading and demand and the supply?
Yes, yes, I'm already in the business of processing fruit jam with no additive for the last 12 years. And that was also a pioneer in the private sector in the processing. So the demand grows. Naturally, business cannot grow in a day, but it's picking up for the last 12 years from the experience that I got. So yes, maybe when we start, it will not be an easy task, but definitely it will grow. That's my experience, the learning from my experience.
So the trend for the last 12 years?
It's picking up.
Do you finish?
Thank you.
Still have 2 minutes so I can. Okay, thank you, Edith Chalem. We had one more finalist, Said Ismail. He's right now outside of Ethiopia and he was expected to join us virtually, but unfortunately it seems he's not able to join us. So we remain with just 4 finalists. With that fact, I have to release you for lunch. It's almost about 12:30. So I appreciate to have your lunch in 1 hour, not only lunch, relax also. So that I come back at 1:30. Is that okay? Okay, thank you. Enjoy your lunch.
Oh.